Let's start marketing. This is part 4 of starting a single person business. Let's take stock of where we are right now. First, you've identified a problem worth solving. That's what a business is. You've also identified your first product, like a minimum viable offer with a transformation statement, a price, and a clear before and after promise. You've built your collectors, a website with an email sign up, a Facebook group, and a call to action that ties them all together. You've done this all by yourself using AI to help you in a few places. That means that you've got a good product with an educated guess at pricing. You have a sticky net ready to capture people who say, hey, I'm interested in this. And now we're going to get more people into that net to raise their hand and actually sell a few on them. This is the episode where the business starts to feel real because it starts making money. Because today you're going to make your first marketing post, have your first sales conversation, and if you do the work, sign your first paying client. I'm Chris Cooper. This is Business is Good. And AI has made it possible for more people than ever before to start single person businesses that are worth $1 million a year. We're working through the steps starting from ground zero. And if you already own a business, especially a service business like a gym, use this as an audit. Go all the way back to stage 1 and say, do I have a clear value statement? Is my product clear? Am I really even clear on what I sell? And then follow along to grow the business at scale by yourself. So before we get into the tactical stuff, I need to warn you about something. The moment you start Googling, how do I get more clients for my business? Your entire algorithm, Facebook, Google, Instagram, TikTok, everything is going to change. Every social media feed, every YouTube recommendation, every ad that you see is going to be somebody promising to generate leads for you. Marketing gurus, lead generation agencies, funnel wizards, people selling courses on how to sell courses. It's an avalanche. And it's designed to make you feel like marketing is impossibly complicated. So complicated that you need to buy their system or hire their agency to do it for you. Ignore all of that, at least for now. We're going to keep this simple and actionable by one person. Remember, our goal is not to hire staff or external agencies, and it's definitely not to make marketing your full-time job. Our goal is to build a business that you can run yourself for as long as you want to. So you're going to hear the word funnel a lot in marketing. Let me explain what it actually means because it's simpler than people make it sound. Remember, most people overcomplicate marketing so they can sell you something. That's part of their marketing, is to make things more complicated than it needs to be. A funnel is the path that somebody takes from, hey, I've never heard of you, to here's my money, sign me up. There's really 3 levels, okay? So if we take our funnel and we divide it into 3 levels, at the top level, we have leads. These are people who have shown some interest, even if barely. They might have seen your post, they clicked the link, they joined your Facebook group. They know you exist, but that's about it. They've seen your ad, right? That is a lead. The middle of your funnel are prospects. So these are people who started as leads, but they have taken one more step. They've essentially said, tell me more. They've shown some interest. Maybe they've signed up for your email list, or they've replied to a post that you made, or they even sent you a private message on Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp or a DM through Instagram or whatever. And they have maybe asked you a question. Okay. They're leaning in. They want to hear more. They might even suspect that you can solve their problem, but they're not sure yet. Okay. They're far from sold, but they are interested. And the bottom of the funnel, the bottom part, these are prospects. And the bottom of the funnel, the pointy part, these are buyers. This is a person who's sitting in front of you, or they're on the other end of a DM conversation, and they're ready to make a decision. They have the problem. They think that you probably have the solution, but they're waiting for you to say the magic words, or at least to not say the bad words, so that they can exchange value with you, pay you, and sign up. They just need to know if you're the right person to deliver the solution to their problem. So your job as a marketer is to move people from the top of the funnel, leads, all the way to the bottom, buyers. That's it. Everything else is just details. So keep that in mind, because that's what's simple. As we go through this series, I'll teach you how to build 4 different funnels: a referral funnel, a content funnel, a social media funnel, and a paid ads funnel. They all work on their own, but together they multiply one another, so the whole is more than the sum of its parts. In this episode, we're going to focus on social media because it's free, it's fast, and it's where your first clients are probably going to come from. So let's set up the platforms you need. You need an Instagram account. You probably already have a personal account, and that's good. You don't need a separate one yet. What you need to do is update your bio in Instagram to reflect what you do, who you help, and where to go next. So your bio should read like a miniature version of the transformation statement that we made in the second video. Something like, I help specific person achieve specific outcome. That's it. And then say link below to get started. Keep it tight. Don't have inspirational quotes. If you run a gym, say that you own a gym. Don't list your credentials. Just talk about who you help, what problem you solve, and where to go for more information or to sign up. That's it. Everything else is a distraction that just creates friction in your marketing and stops people from buying. I've worked with 3,500 gym owners and dozens of other service industry companies around the world. And most of their marketing problems comes from saying too much. They create confusion and friction. They own a gym, but they call themselves a wellness collective or something that nobody understands what that actually means. Be very clear about who you help, what problem you solve, and the next step they can take. Don't try to be artistic. Don't try to outthink everybody else. Don't try to come up with a new way to say it. Clarity wins in marketing. In Facebook, you want to do the same thing. You want to update your personal profile to reflect that you have this business that solves this problem for these people. Make sure that your Facebook page is set up, which you did back in the third video, and that your personal profile links to that page. Google My Business is the third social platform you need to set up right out of the gate. Now, most people forget this one, but it's kind of the most important, especially if you have a physical location, because it's the first thing that people will see when they search for you or search for an answer to their problem. And as more and more people are searching with AI, or Google uses like Gemini to help people find answers without just pointing to a website, it's more important than ever that it can find you, or the people searching can find you. It's the one that search engines and AI bots trust the most. So you have to have a Google My Business profile if you have a physical location. Set that up before you even set up Facebook and Instagram. This is the stickiest of all nets. Add your hours, your services, your photos, your website link. If you don't have a physical location, which is fine for a lot of single person businesses, you're selling an online service, you can skip Google My Business for now and just focus on Facebook and Instagram. But if you do have a location, please don't skip this. You have to set up Google My Business. It's the most boring setup task that you'll do today, but it might be the most valuable. I will link videos on how to set up Facebook, Instagram, and Google My Business in the show notes. Now, I also want to talk to you about Linktree, because here's the problem. Instagram, which is probably the hottest platform for gaining attention right now, but the worst platform for actually converting people into sales, part of that is because it doesn't make the path clear. So what problem do you solve? You can talk about that on Instagram. Who do you help? You can show that on Instagram. How do the people talk to you? That is the tricky part on Instagram. It only gives you one link in your bio. But if you have multiple places that you want to send people, like to your website, to your email list, or send me a DM, or here's how to get a free resource maybe in the future, you need a tool like Linktree. Now, this is a link in bio tool that allows you to have multiple links in your Instagram bio. And I'll post a video about how to set up Linktree in the show notes too. Basically, it's one URL that takes you to a menu of links. So you put your most important destination at the top, which is your email sign up or your website booking page. And the goal here is just smooth movement. You want somebody to go from a good first impression, a picture they like, a reel they like, to being able to sign up and book a conversation with you with as few steps as possible. Every extra click that you add, you lose people. Every time they have to do research to figure out what you do, or what your hours are, or what you charge, or what makes you good, you lose people. So keep the paths really short and obvious. In short, the secret to being a successful hot dog vendor does not come down to what kind of hot dogs you sell, or what type of condiments you offer, or what kind of buns you use, or the price you sell. The secret to being the most successful hot dog vendor is finding a hungry crowd, because a hungry crowd will pay whatever you want to charge. They will line up to get your good, no matter what kind of bun you use, and they'll be happy to get it. They'll be satisfied. That's the key to marketing, is starting with a hungry crowd. And we did that in the first video in this series by identifying the problem that needed to be solved. We know what the crowd is hungry for. And now we're going to start telling them Here's how we're going to solve your problem. So you know who's hungry, you know what they're hungry for. Now you just need to stand in front of them and say, hey, I have what you need. And that's what we're doing next. This is called the 5-1-30 post. So get your first product exercise worksheet from part 2. That's the one with your transformation statement, your before after promise, your product name, and your price on it. We're going to turn that worksheet into your first marketing post. It's called a 5-1-30, and it's the simplest, most effective first post that you can make to attract people to your business who are actually going to buy. There are people out there who are ready to buy right now. There's not many of them. These are low hanging fruit, but they are out there and they can give us a kickstart. So we're going to make this post called the 5-1-30. And here's the format. I'm looking for 5 people who want to achieve the specific result that you put in your worksheet in the next 30 days. That's it. So it's 5 people who want this one result in the next 30 days. Let me break down why this works. I'm looking for 5 people. So this creates scarcity and exclusivity. You're not blasting out a generic ad, you're selecting a small group. 5 feels personal. 5 feels like you'll actually pay attention to each one of those people. Then you say who want a specific result. So this is your filter. You're not talking to everyone. You're talking to the people who have the specific problem that you solve. Everybody else just scrolls past, but the people who have this problem say, whoa, that's me. They stop and read. And then saying in the next 30 days, this is your time constraint from the worksheet. So this creates urgency and it sets expectations. This isn't an open-ended commitment. It's a defined sprint with a clear endpoint. If you say, send me a DM, this is your call to action. Send me a message. These are not people who need more proof or to hear more from you or to know your opinion. These are people who just want to solve this problem right now. So send me a message. It's the lowest friction action that somebody could take, and it moves them right from the top of the funnel, a lead, straight to the middle, a prospect. They've gone from, hey, I saw your post, to tell me more in one step, and you can tell them more through DMs. Now you're going to post this with a picture. A photo of you, ideally, not a stock photo, not a design graphic from Claude, but a picture of you, because people buy from people and a face builds trust faster than any logo. So you can see in our show notes a sample 5-1-30 post, but what you're putting into that post is, I'm looking for 5 people who want to solve this problem. Okay. So that came from your worksheet in part 2 in the next 30 days. Send me a DM. That's the entire post. Is this going to be enough to market your business forever? Of course not. What it's going to do is get you 2, 3, maybe 4 people to buy your product right now. And it's going to get you some reps. It's going to get you practice at having conversations, practice at selling people, practice at delivering your service. So then somebody sends you a DM. Here's what you do. They're telling you, hey, I'm very interested. Okay. So keep that in mind. They've moved from the top of the funnel, a lead, to the middle. They're a prospect now. So don't blow it by being awkward or salesy. Just have a conversation. Okay. So here's exactly what to do. Start by inviting them to a conversation, not a sales pitch, but a conversation. Say something like, hey, thanks for reaching out. Tell me a bit about what's going on for you with, the problem that you're solving. I pretend that I'm standing in a coffee line at Starbucks and somebody turns around, they see my gym t-shirt, or they see the Business is Good t-shirt, or the leadyourself.ca t-shirt, and they say, hey, I've got this problem. Now, as a human talking to another human, I'm just going to say, oh yeah, tell me more. And that's exactly the way you want to behave in your DMs too. Then you want to listen. Now, this is the most important part. You need to let them describe their problem in their own words. Ask follow-up questions, understand what they've tried before, what hasn't worked before, and what they're hoping to achieve. Then tell them that you have the solution, because you do, and you need to be brave enough to tell them that. So when they're done talking, connect their problem to your offer. Well, based on what you've told me, I think that my gym or my self-leadership program or my business course would be a great fit. So here's what it involves. And you walk them through the transformation, which is the before and after that you've already built on your worksheet. Then you ask them if they'd like to start now. Now, this is the part where people get really shy. Okay. They're looking for like the perfect hook, the perfect script. What do I say? I don't want to get it wrong. You say, would you like to start now? That's it. It's just a question. Don't be coy about it. Don't say, let me know if you're interested, or here's my email address, or hey, send me a message if you want to get started. Ask them. You're doing them a favor. You are going first. They are waiting to be asked. They might say no, but it just means not right now. But most people are actually waiting for an engraved invitation to start. And if you say, would you like to start? They're going to be relieved. They'll be thankful that you asked them because they were too shy about saying, how do I get started? It's like doing the favor of asking somebody to go out on a date with you. They're not feeling awkward. They don't want to ask you. And if you ask them first, you're doing them a huge favor. They're going to feel relief and they're going to actually feel grateful. So, would you like to get started is just a great way to actually sell people. You could also say something like, hey, I'm going to be in the gym at noon on Monday. Would you like to get together and talk about your first steps? Or I have a spot open. Do you want to start this week? Then take their money and start delivering. Send them the payment link, onboard them, begin the work. If you're sitting with them in person, take their credit card on the spot. If they leave and they don't pay, they're going to spend the next 3 months continuing to search, asking questions instead of actually getting results and solving their problems, which is what we're in business to do. Remember, especially if you're in the gym industry, like the first coaching that you actually give a person is not how to ride a bike, how to do a squat, how to do a push up. The first coaching that you give them is here's how to commit to making these changes in your life. Some people call that sales. I just call it coaching because it's part of our duty as coaches. So you take their money, you onboard them, and you begin the work, right? That's you got your first client. Congratulations. Now, this strategy of doing a 5-1-30 should get you 1 to 3 new clients. At least sometimes it's gotten 4, maybe more, maybe fewer. The number doesn't really matter right now. What matters is that you're marketing, that you have real people paying you real money for a solution, best case. So start with them, deliver the result that you promised, over deliver if possible, because the next funnel that we build, the referral funnel, depends entirely on the success of these first few clients. Happy clients tell their friends. Blown away clients become your marketing team. One more tip here. These first clients are not looking for a discount. They're looking to solve their problem. They're not looking to be a science experiment. They're looking to solve their problem. They're not looking to be the crash test dummy that you test your solution on. They're looking to solve their problem. Solve their problem. Deliver it. You know how to do this. You don't need to discount just because you're new. In fact, you'll be less likely to solve their problem if they think that you're just trying things out or that you're not a professional or you're not really sure what you're doing. The best service that you can give them is to charge your full value and deliver on your promise. So you've just made your first sale, possibly your first few sales. Now we need to keep that momentum going. And in part 5, we'll walk through a strategy for posting on social media every 30 days. Not random posts, but a structured plan that builds your authority, keeps your audience engaged, and moves more people into your funnel. And I'll show you how AI can help you create a month of content in just like 20, 30 minutes. In part 6, we're going to build a referral funnel. And this is where your business starts to grow on its own, but it only works if your first clients are thrilled with what you've delivered. So between now and then, over deliver. Give those first few clients everything you got. Before part 5, make sure that you've completed everything from today. You've got an Instagram, a Facebook, and a Google My Business account set up and updated. You've got your Linktree configured for Instagram with all of your key links. You've got your first 5-1-30 posts written and published, and you've started your first DM conversations. Do this today, not tomorrow, not next week, but today. The difference between people who build businesses and people who think about building businesses is the speed at which they act. Post the 5-1-30, have the conversations, close the sale, start delivering. This is Business is Good. I'm Chris Cooper. If this was helpful, share it with somebody who's thinking about starting a business or they've just started and they're not really sure what steps to take. Next episode, we're going to talk about your 30-day content strategy built with AI. We'll see you then.